Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the 19th hole. We are live on In Between Media. We are sports, we are lifestyle, and everything in between. It was a washout in rainy Texas this week. Scottie Scheffler did his thing. He did it extremely well, painfully well to our pocketbooks. We're moving on to the Truist at some cricket club in Philly. We'll get over all that right after the drop. Oops, there we are. Hey, Connor, how you doing, buddy? This
couldn't be any better, Bo. Couldn't be any better.
You look great. All right, this is Truist Week. This is a new tournament. Everybody's excited, especially the investors in the PGA Tour. Conor, Coughlin. We had a long weekend with Scottie Scheffler running away. Do you have anything to drink tonight, or are we just going to tip our cap to Scottie and move on?
I will be indulging in ice water and chasing it with TheraFlu at some point.
Well, Feliz Cinco de Mayo. This is the first of continuing Monday night slots, 10 o'clock Eastern time, going forward for the rest of the season, or until we change it again. Stay tuned.
Gotta keep you on your toes.
For the foreseeable future, Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern will be the live version of the 19th hole. We're always going to do it live, but we wanted to let you know that this is the first of at least a few Monday night shows. I'm ready for it. Let's dive right in with the news Niblick. Oh, in case you were wondering, Connor, I'm drinking a tequila and Spindrift pineapple sparkling water.
That actually sounds amazing.
It's really good. I could just drink this. It's really good.
Well, I think you probably will just drink it.
Feliz Cinco de Mayo.
I didn't even have any tacos or anything, like nothing today.
I was going to make fajitas and I just didn't have the energy. So, we ordered tacos from Seoul, and it's awesome every time. But we got tacos on Cinco de Mayo. I'm not going to break the streak.
That's not so much as a Corona. I did nothing today.
Take the L, my friend. Speaking of taking the L, it was a shellacking. It was a lacquering. It was a Texas size butt whooping by the Dallas native himself, Scottie Scheffler, on the rest of the poor field at the CJ Cup. Byron Nelson. Obviously, Scottie Scheffler is intertwined with Byron Nelson in Texas golf history and lore. They're both legends in their own right. They even met when Scottie was just a kid and Byron Nelson was in his 80s. This is a good win. It's the first win on the season for the world number one. We knew it was a matter of time. You probably could have guessed that he was going to win after he shot an opening round 61 and then followed it up with a very little squeaky clean 63 on Friday after starting his round with 8 pars. We're like, oh no, he's going to backslide because everybody else is going to score. Oh, no. No. Scottie eagles number 9, followed by a very long weather delay, which pushed the afternoon wave into a tough bracket, which also helped Scottie win by a ton of strokes. He comes back, scorches the front nine again. I think he would have won the tournament if he only played the front nine. So if he played 36 holes of just the front nine, he would have still beaten Eric Van Rooyen. That is mind blowing. That's mind blowing stuff. It's his best round strokes gained to par since he started his career, and it's one of the best strokes gained rounds of all time. I think fourth best ever. Talk about Scottie Scheffler at Texas, Mr. Conor.
Well, I hope people read my column, because I did have Scottie Scheffler on my card, and I did take him at plus 280 because I looked at the stats, and I was looking at Scottie, and I was like, look, he is such a level above the rest of this field.
2 to 3.
I mean, just insane. And 280 somehow felt like a little bit of a value for him. So I did grab him. I think he slid to as much as plus 350 at one point when he was on his par streak. But yeah, I did continue my streak, and just goes to show you, not only listen to the show, but read the article. It's not everything from the article makes it to the show.
Yeah, and the show unfortunately didn't include you last week, because you would have talked some reason into us about how we shouldn't ignore that Scottie Scheffler was number one in our models by quite a stretch. And it was just a numbers game where we sprayed and prayed that Scottie wouldn't be the boogeyman this week. And boy, was he ever. The Grim Reaper, even from Thursday on, it was Scottie he was minus 220 after the first round. Lights out. Just go home, guys. You're not going to catch him.
I think what we're starting to realize is that we're getting one of two things happening this year on tour. It's either the favorite wins, and you kind of hit yourself for not being there, which is why I've kind of started being there. Yeah. Or it's a first timer or a long shot. And so yeah, I'm gonna probably keep doing the same thing. Overinvest a little bit at the top, and buckshot the bottom, and hope I get lucky on one end or the other.
It sure seems like a trend right now. So yeah, let's go with that. All right, I am adding up this stat model here because I didn't like the first run. The first run was a little rough.
I'm on my third one.
Oh, you are? Okay. Yeah. I'm just running this first one because did we have another story? Yes. We're looking ahead to next week, because I'll talk about this week a little later, but next week is the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow in Charlotte. It's going to be an awesome tournament. The PGA has rarely had a better course than Quail Hollow, and just because it's on the full-time rotation on the PGA Tour does not make it less of a golf course. It is a spectacle, attention viewing every year when the PGA Tour comes around to Charlotte at Quail Hollow. That's the difference. Is the PGA Championship should be something that shows off professional golf as a whole, and Quail Hollow is a great atmosphere for that. And we got all the stories coming in. It's Rory's house. But if Jordan Spieth wins it, he gets the career Grand Slam very next major after Rory completed it. There's lots of cool things to look ahead to. Conor, how do you feel about looking ahead to Quail Hollow next week?
Well, I love Quail Hollow, and to your point, I love anywhere that Rory historically does really well. I mean,
I think I could have guessed that. Wow.
But, I mean, when you Quail Hollow, I mean, the nice thing about this event, the Truist, is outside of this year, we get to see Quail Hollow every year for the next 5 or 6 years. So I always enjoy this time of year, just because of that. I love watching Quail Hollow, and like I just said, I love watching Rory excel. That I like Rory and I like Scottie up top. I think they're both at plus 500 right now. I don't hate betting on both of them, getting a number ahead of it sliding a bit. The Spieth narrative, I want to believe, right? Like I want Jordan to get it done. How crazy would that be? Rory gets it done, then Jordan gets it done the very next
He's definitely in that trending category with his recent form.
He is, but it's Jordan Spieth, man. I don't know that I see him having the gumption.
He is a ratings bonanza. That guy is a thrill to watch play. That's what everybody loves about Jordan Spieth is you're looking at it's a train wreck every time. You can't take your eyes off it. You know he's either going to blow up into smithereens or he's going to somehow miraculously get out of trouble over and over again like he's MacGyver out there. That's the appeal, and I would love to see him complete the career Grand Slam next week.
I'll be cheering for him for sure. I mean, I like Spieth's got his idiosyncrasies, but I enjoy Spieth. I'd like to see him get it done. But yeah, he's always a wild card. We'll have to see what game he brings, but. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Quail Hollow in major conditions. I think it's great. It's going to be great golf to watch. It's going to be a great tournament. It's going to be challenging but fair.
Yep.
Super pumped about it.
Let's go. Well, let's move on to talking about this week's tournament at the Truist. Let's see what kind of caddy notes we might have for a golf course that nobody's seen except for on the senior PGA Tour. Well, Conor, tell me what you know about this place where they're playing this week.
It's the Cricket Club. No, so this is the Truist Championship, formerly the Wells Fargo, typically held at Quail Hollow. This year being held at Philadelphia Cricket Club, the Wissahickon course in Flowertown, PA. It is a signature event. 72 players in this field, no cut. Everybody gets 4 rounds. It is a par 70, 7,119 yards. Greens and fairways are bent. Rough is fescue. And really, the course itself plays, I mean, obviously the yardage would tell you this, but it plays on the shorter side, and I think that's amplified a bit given some of the strategic bunkering around this place. This place has got upwards of 120 bunkers that are actually in play.
Seems excessive, Conor.
Yeah. Apparently they had an overage of sand on the lot, so they had to build some bunkers. I don't really know, but
or they just really had fun digging those holes.
It's like they read the blueprint wrong, built a bunker over here, and they're like, no, it's supposed to be over there, and they just left it.
The designer is A.W. Tillahast, who is notorious for seeing a sand dune and saying, "Let's carve holes in it."
Oh, and we'll get to him. But yeah, so distance never hurts anywhere, but this place really emphasizes accuracy more than anything else. Fairways are wider than tour average, but like I mentioned, there's a lot of bunkering that really forces you to be accurate.
It squeezes you.
It does, yeah. And it's a second shot course. We talk a lot about that, but
I almost wish Scottie was here. Honestly, it would be fun to watch him plot his way around this place.
I think it'd be cool to watch like a foreshadowing of him versus Rory. Just get a test run in.
Yeah.
What else do I know about this place? Greens are above average, continuing with the above average everything here. They are very firm and fast, so you do run into some trouble with these greens, especially if you're out of position. You've got to have good shot shaping. You've got to be able to spin the ball and stop it, which kind of ties into my next point, which I honestly think, without having much to go on here, I think the biggest secret is going to be managing your second shot lie, like being in position, not being in the fescue. You don't want to be catching flyers out of the fescue. The ball's going to sit up. It's not going to be a good scene if you're missing fairways. I'll let Bo talk about this a little bit because he already hit on it, but there are some call outs to some notoriously massive, difficult courses with Bethpage and Winged Foot. This is nothing like those, in my opinion.
No. It's like if those two had a baby and they really didn't love the baby that much.
Yeah, it's Tillinghast. I think notoriously those are two of the most difficult, challenging courses around, and you got to respect the design that goes into those. I know he personally was a big fan of this place. I I think it pales in comparison to some of his better work.
It's the stark contrast between Winged Foot, Bethpage Black, and this one, the Cricket Club in Philly. This is this golf course,
Flowertown.
Yeah, Flowertown, PA. That's the most Amish thing I've ever heard in my life. No offense to the Amish. It's just comical that there's a place called Flowertown, PA outside Philly, and they have a very fancy cricket club with a very fancy Tillinghast designed golf course. It's crazy, and it's kind of like a money grab to me. It's like what do we need? Another no cut signature event that's got a huge $20 million purse. It just seems to me that they did a poor job of replacing Quail Hollow Wells Fargo week, because that was a special event. And just because we get Quail Hollow next week doesn't mean we don't still miss a good challenging course like Quail Hollow this week for this tournament. I think these guys are going to light this place on fire.
I tend to agree with you. I mean, it's had a redesign, and they haven't had an event on it since. So it's hard to say. I think that there is trouble. Like I said, some of the guys that struggle with accuracy, I think are going to have a rough time here.
If you're out of position on approach, especially short side yourself on this golf course, it's not going to end well.
But I don't see this being much of a challenge. What maybe you can hope for is that some other guys get a shot here, and that Rory and Coughlin and Xander, JT, like some of these guys are really treating this as a tune-up. Otherwise, I think it's going to be one of the favorites, and I don't think it's going to be particularly close.
Well, what do you say we dive in and bet on some golf, Connor?
I love the sound of that. I love it for you. I love it for me.
Let's do it. All right, DraftKings Sportsbook updated odds. Connor, as of right now, Monday night. Connor, some guy named Rory's in this field. The other guy named Scottie's not in this field. We have a lot of great names other than Scottie here. It is a signature event after all. Where does your card start? I mean, obviously with Rory, but are you interested in other members of the top of this board?
So I am interested in Rory, but only because
oh my goodness.
I just want to say I can see this being kind of a tune-up, fine-tuning event for Rory. There's a lot
or a look ahead.
The look
ahead effect is real.
There's a lot of short approach shots here, and though he's been like markedly improved in that regard, like I think that's going to be his focus this week.
Pebble Beach especially.
So I think I could see Rory just coming out and burning the field, no problem. Or I could see him coming out and just kind of putzing around for 4 days, So I'm definitely going to be there. Plus 450 in this field seems like an actual decent value for the type of season Rory's having. So I will have that. But getting to the point, other guys I like up there. I've got a lot of interest in Colin Morikawa, and I got a lot of interest in JT. Those are the two that I'm looking at.
My guy JT. Our guy JT.
Okay, yeah, it's about time.
Justin Thomas, friend of the show. Love to have you on one day.
One day.
That's where I start my card. I was tempted. I ended up getting JT earlier today at 20-1, but he is down to 18-1. That's still a good value because this course is made for a player like Justin Thomas. It's a guy who can go low. I mean, how many course records does this guy have on tour? It's crazy. Can he go low? Yeah, it's JT. He goes lower than anybody, more often than anybody. And can he also pinpoint short iron approach and wedge approach shots? Yes, that's JT's forte. That always has been JT's forte. His struggles off the tee are not amplified on a golf course like this because driver is not going to be his hand very often. So That's for me. It was either him or Ludvig Aberg, because I can see Aberg getting hot enough to go low here, even if it doesn't necessarily match his skill set as well. This guy is just a threat, and I think the scoring is going to be premium this week. So I'm going to take my shots on the guys who can crack 30 under par, which is where I think it's going to be. And Ludvig Aberg was tempting, but JT is ultimately going to get more of my investment at the top of the card, knowing that I'd love to see Rory win here. I just think he's going to be looking ahead to next week more than anybody else in this field.
Yeah, with JT, I mean, there's nobody better from 150 in right now on tour.
Zero people.
And then you start getting into the longer approach buckets, and he's been great there too. He's number 4 in the field. What I was surprised about looking at his stats this week is he's number 11 in putting, and like the eye test to me,
I got him at 9th in putting.
Which, like, I think the putter has gotten really good over the course of maybe the last month or so, but like it started out pretty rocky. So to have him rating out that well in this field with some really good putters, I mean, there's some very stout putters in this
best
field.
of the best are in here.
Yeah, so JT's form is fantastic. I see no reason, especially if you got him at 20, that's even better. I got him at the 18 number, and I feel really good about that.
He is number 1 in this field, and birdies are better gained. That seems good.
Yeah, and to your point, like the wider fairways should help mitigate some of that driver stuff. But like honestly, the driver's actually been decent. I mean, he's still losing strokes off the tee week on week, but it's been better. And then my other guy, Morikawa, like, so when you talk about tee to green play and approach play, Morikawa is still number 1 in tee to green and number 2 in overall approach. He's really good from that 150 to 125 range. He rates out 15th there. Doesn't miss a whole lot of fairways. So, you know, the thing you got to worry about with Collin Morikawa is, or he doesn't miss a lot of greens, rather. I'm sorry. Fairways, holy cow, the illness is kicking in. The thing you got to worry about, I'm seeing triple. Is his putter. It's always his putter, and he's 44th in this field of 72, so that's not great.
That's rough.
But I think he can.
I have him at 56th.
Yeah, the thing with Morikawa though is like the rest of his game is just so darn good that like if we could just get a flat putting week, and we say this all the time.
His around the green game is bad too. It's 50th. But like you said, everything else is top 5. Like top 5 ball striking, birdies, everything else you want. Is if this guy's on, he could do it. If he's off, he's not going to do it at all. He's going to be floundering at the bottom of this pack.
He's had some really good runs in some of those metrics, you know, over the course of the season. He's had some good finishes. Slipped a little at RBC Heritage. Had a really bad around the green game, and specifically a really bad putting week. So yeah, I like this spot for him to bounce back a little bit.
So I shudder to think, but I do want to pander to our Canadian fans out there, especially Royal Slade. I got a hit. There was a hit at number 2 in my model here, this first run model on Corey Connors. It makes sense. Birdie making machine, premium ball striker, much like Morikawa, absolutely no short game. But if he's on with his irons, like he is prone to be on a golf course like this, we're in Corey Connors territory, are we not? 30-1, that seems decent.
Yeah, he popped top 10 for me. 30-1, to be honest, my money's going to Henley. But
oh yes, another valuable pick in these 7,100 yard golf courses. Henley rises quickly.
100%. But to talk about Corey Connors, yeah, his tee to green has been awesome lately. Hits darn near every fairway, every green. That shorter wedge proximity, he's super good at. He's always in or around the top 10. So I like it. I mean, he does, in transparency, I mean, at least in my modeling, he rates out like almost neck and neck with Morikawa for putting it around the green. So
yep. Not good, but
I'm going to play the upside with Morikawa.
If we just hold our nose and pray they don't have to use their short game.
Exactly.
Then we can get there. Put the beer goggles on and pray that they have a great iron ball striking week.
It could happen, but I think I feel a lot more confidently at that 30-1 number in Russell Henley. He rates out number one in my model overall. Like you said, shorter course like this.
He's fourth in mine, so I'm not going to squabble with you on it.
No, the only thing I worry about with Henley, just in transparency, and 30-1 is probably reflective of it, is I don't know that he has the ability to hit that 28 to 30 number.
Right. Yeah, he is 25th. Is his worst stat in my model is 25th, and birdies are better.
But boy, I'll tell you what, just well-rounded game all season long. Henley,
no weaknesses.
Yeah, I feel very confident in him. I think I'll probably shop around and try and get like a top 10. I think that's definitely well within the range of outcomes.
Well, after that bracket, I really dropped down. Do you have anybody kind of in between? Because I don't have anybody till 60-1. Do you have anybody in that kind of mid-range?
Yeah, I've got two. And transparency, I don't have a big card this week. I don't know enough about the course or what it's going to look like. To really be
I'm doing the same exact thing. Connor, you're a smart guy, or we're both really dumb.
But I do have some interest in Sepp Straka, popping for number one in strokes gained approach, number 7 in proximity from 125 to 150, and number 5 in tee to green. So. Straka's another guy.
You went to the Morikawa Connors School of Short Game.
if you're seeing a little bit of a trend on my betting card, it's the upside approach specialists.
Yeah, approach specialists who we hope don't have to chip too often.
But Straka at 40-1, I think when you look at the people that are a little shorter than him at that 30-1 number, and we just hit on 2 of them, Straka can score.
And he's 11th.
So that 40 number seems like a decent value on him. And then Sam Burns. So I wrote up Sam Burns last week, and I was early to the party on Burns, and I'm going to keep riding it. He finished tied for 5th last week, and all the same stuff I liked about Sam Burns last week, I continue to like here. He's number 1 in the field right now for putting. It's somebody that we know can get very creative and very hot with shorter irons. His overall approach game hasn't been great this season, but that shorter range is where he's really like stepped up and shown an ability to stay with the field. The other thing I like about Sam Burns that some of the other guys we've talked about so far don't have is Sam Burns is really good out of the sand. Sam Burns rates out in the top 20 in this field for getting up and down out of the sand.
He's number 4 in short game for me and number 1 in putting. So the complete antithesis of the previous group of guys that you were on, but also I'm a big fan because Sam Burns, by virtue of his amazing short game and putting, makes a lot of birdies.
He does, and here's something that I typically you don't get to say about Sam Burns either, but he's gained strokes off the tee in his last 3 starts. And so
you'd love to hear it.
So the trend is there. He's relatively flat on overall approach, which for Sam Burns is actually a good number.
Great. That's so great for him. It's like Scottie putting. You just don't be terrible on approach, please, Sammy Burns.
The other thing too, Sam Burns in these no-cut events, man, like he'll have that fire round. One of the 4 days he will have a go low type of round. And you just hope that he, keeps up with the pack the rest of the time he's there. And you got a recipe to win. So 50-1 seems pretty good on him.
I'm going to ride the hottest of hot, Mr. Andrew Novak. I got him at 70-1 earlier today. He's already slipped to 60-1. Woo, he's hot. He's like Hansel. Andrew Novak is so hot right now.
So hot right now.
And this dude is dialed in. Every facet of his game is rocking right now. This is the kind of place where we get to see the Andrew Novak we saw a couple weeks ago at the Zurich with his co-champion. The week before that was just a stripe show from Novak, very nearly stealing that tournament at the end in the playoff. I'm excited. This is the kind of leverage that you get on the hottest golfer in this field. Like, you can say Rory's hotter because he won the Masters, but Novak is playing a continued month of top 5 in the world golf. 60-1 even. Yeah, I'm thrilled to have him at 70, but 60 even is still amazing leverage for a guy that's got so much upside.
Well, you don't have to sell me on Novak. I love Novak.
I'm coming around to him. He's getting my fandom because he's a good old boy from South Carolina. He just goes out there and plays the game the right way. He's exactly what I like to watch, where he's out there all ho hum, but the dude's got game.
Yeah, dude, he's got a crazy good iron game, crazy good short game. He plays fast. He's cool, calm, and collect for the most part. And you look at what he's done. I mean, third at the Valero, second at RBC, winning at the Zurich. So it's just,
Yeah, he's rising on my board overall of people I like to root for. And 70-1 is amazing. I also wanted a piece of Akshay Bhatia because of the style of golf course. And again, this is a guy who, when he's hot, goes lower than anybody else. He's a 61 or 62 waiting to happen on a golf course like this, where you're going to get a lot of wedges on approach. And I can't think of anybody in this range or even a little shorter that have a better wedge game on approach than Akshay Bhatia. And I got him at 75. He's already down to 70-1. I'm again thrilled to get one of the guys I pictured winning this tournament at such a great line. So what say you on those two mid-range picks there?
So I like Bhatia. He's probably not going to make my card, and just because I think the consistency is the struggle with him. And I think in this event, he's going to have to be consistent. Like he has a good around the green game. He's got a good, creative iron game. His putter has actually been really good lately. He's fourth in the field over the last 36. I mean, so there's a lot to like about him, but it just always seems to me like he has that one just stinker of a round where you're just like, man, if you could have kept it together 4 days, what could have been? Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I just don't know. He's another guy that I feel is firmly in that bucket of can he go 28, 29, 30? And I don't know if he can. I don't know if he can put together 4 days.
All right. Anybody else? How low are you going? This field is pretty versatile, actually.
There's a couple of guys that I haven't pulled the trigger on, but I have an interest in, just random, like Willie Z. I have some interest in him at 70-1. We've been on Jacob Bridgman. I don't know if it's time to quit him yet or not, but 90-1 seems like a really good number on him. It's
number 7 in my model.
Yeah, so I think he's probably the one that most likely finds his way onto the card here over the next day or so. But then I get into I have 2 guys getting down here. Actually 3. I've got one more that's may make it on the card. But the first one's Tom Hoge. And
here we go. Here we go.
Anybody who's ever watched this show over the course of the last 5 or 6 years knows that Tom Hoge and I have a brutal love-hate relationship.
The Pebble Beach Whisperer.
But on a course like this, where approach and short game are important, this is another type of deal that sets up really well for Tom Hoge, and at plus 110 for a guy that really has some stellar approach metrics, despite being relatively quiet this year. I mean, he's number 11th in this field still. I love him in DFS. You're down there at $6,700 for Tom Hoge, and you get 4 days of Tom Hoge. Putter's good. He's 24th in the field. He's great out of the sand. He's 19th in the field. And then, again, I mentioned it. His iron play, his approach play overall is good. And that 125 to 150 bucket is one of his better ranges. So you're not going to get a lot of length from Mr. Hoge.
No.
But you can get some good iron play out of him, and the putter is steadfast enough. So
yeah, the putter has been good for Hoge this season. He's number 6 in my model in putting, amazingly. Where he's still struggled is around the green. So if his iron game isn't sharp, which usually happens on longer golf courses, we see him shine usually on these lengths of Pebble Beach and the Sony Opens, the shorter golf courses where Tom Hoge's wedge game can apply here. A lot like Akshay Bhatia, but maybe a little bit less volatile. He's more steady than Akshay is. I just think Akshay has a little bit more flair to him. I can win this tournament any week. And Hoagie's like, every 3 years at one of these tournaments that you'll flip a coin for, I'm going to win or push top 5.
I mean,
right? That's Tom Hoagie in a nutshell.
Yeah, and then I whine and complain about him for a month or two every single time he's on a field.
We've been going through this for years.
It's not a good scene when I bet Tom Hoagie, and the following week's never good.
This poor guy. I'm going to take a guy who has done very good work the last few weeks, months, this whole season. The other Højgaard twin, Rasmus, who last year we felt Nikolai was the better of the two, and it's completely flipped in my opinion. Rasmus is playing much better golf, more of a all-around game than his brother. Rasmus Højgaard going off at 110-1. I got him early and 110-1 for as well as this guy's dialed in and going low. I like Rasmus Højgaard, and he's still at 100-1 on DraftKings. So that's a nice $5 let it flyer type of bet that I can really dig, because absolutely Rasmus Højgaard could win this thing.
No argument for me, and we have been saying for weeks and weeks and weeks that Rasmus is the better Højgaard. So
yeah, it's been proven this season, and it might change again because they're so damn similar. But it's right now it's the year of Rasmus.
My guy that I'm a little iffy on, but the form is coming around, is Michael Thorbjornsen at plus 120. Yeah.
I wish Carl Phillips was in this field.
Oh, me too.
He's like fourth alternate, but he would be perfect for this course. Thorbjornsen, wedge approach is shaky at best. He's amazing off the tee, but this kind of course might eat him alive. What say you on, other than birdie making, which he obviously can do?
Yeah, well, the thing I like about him is, again, 120-1. First off,
that's pretty nice. That is appealing.
Can rack up birdies like nobody's business.
Yeah.
But last week at the Byron Nelson, he actually had his first week in 6 starts where he gained on approach. And we've kind of been waiting for him to gain on approach.
We need him to gain on approach.
100% we do, because to your point, the off the tee game is actually pretty good. That is relatively accurate for as long as he is.
And he's long.
He's very long. And so, we're not losing off the tee ever, really. So we just need the approach to come along a little bit. And then the other piece that actually for the first time was basically flat, which for him is good, it was his putter. His putter he lost 0.3 of a stroke. So basically flat putting performance, which has been the other like kind of critical piece with him, is we know the off the tee is great, and we just need that approach to be serviceable. We need the putter to be serviceable, and he'll gain plenty on his way to the green. So I like it at 120. I think it's taken him a lot longer to get to where we wanted him to be, but I think he's coming around.
So I'm looking at this field and I'm thinking I would be crazy not to take a shot on one of the longer players in this field, because it's 80 men, no cut. Anybody in this field could theoretically win this tournament, even with Rory here, right? Like, this is what they want, is for us to glue our eyes to the TV so they can get their big Truist money at the sponsorship deal. And they're going to make us watch a birdie fest with 80 guys going ballistic on this poor cricket club golf course. So I'm going to go down to Brian Campbell at 250-1 and let $1.50 roll. Let's do $4.20.
That's my last guy too.
Yeah. Like, why not?
That's great. I didn't think there was any way that you were going to be on Brian Campbell. I thought I was going to come in swinging at 250-1, and you're going to be like,
I've seen him do it. We've seen Brian Campbell do this.
This is a Brian Campbell golf course.
Oh my God.
100%.
And he can't miss the cut, Connor. He can't hurt us this week.
Well, and he's like,
you have nothing to lose but $4.20. That's nice.
And if you think back to the Mexico Open, I mean, the guy when he's hot with the short irons is a wizard. He can get the putter going. He's not going to be as penalized for the off the tee game this week. Like, even if he's in the rough, like, this fescue is manageable. Yeah, he's a short hitter, shortest on tour, but everything
fescue rough is like a good therapist. It's very supportive.
Well, I like that. I like him teed up a little from the longer distances if he misses the fairway. Like, this place makes a ton of sense for Brian Campbell. And to your point, we just watched him do it in Mexico. Like, we should have been all over him then. That course set up almost perfectly for what he does. This course, at least on paper, seems like it would be a great fit. It seems like incredibly long odds for a guy that won on tour this year.
Well, Connor, what do you say we get to the hat? El sombrero.
El sombrero. Out of the 72 players in this field, the hat has wisely chosen number 42 in your model.
Oh, my goodness. Oh,
scrolling. Adam Scott.
That's not bad. My guy, I think I would have been supportive on this track if it was last year, but it's Lucas Glover.
Dude, and Lucas Glover actually pops for me. Lucas Glover in my model
he's 42nd in mine, obviously, but it's because of birdie making. 22nd in this field, and birdie making is his top stat.
He's 14th in mine, and the putting is not great.
But bad.
We know that.
That's what you get with Lucas Glover.
No, I'm if nothing else, I'm excited to see this course. I think Justin Thomas is, if it's not Rory just continuing to run all over these fields,
just roll. Yeah,
I want it to be JT. I think JT gets it done.
I think so too. I mean, he's as hot as Rory. It's fresh. Like, JT's riding high. This is the most confident we've seen him in years. Number 1 in birdies gained, number 1 in short iron approach, top 10 everywhere else. It makes sense. I think JT is going to take this at 29 under par.
Yeah, I think I'm probably a little bit higher. Like, I'd say I think it's probably more like in that 27, 28 range.
Still very favorable.
Yeah. I think they ripped this place apart.
All right. Next week, we get Quail Hollow. We get the PGA Championship. Oh, yeah. Looking ahead with the dome. Yes. Join us next week. This has been the 19th Hole Live, as always, on In Between Media.